Welcome everybody to day number 76 of At Home Fitness with Coach A. It is Saturday, May 30th. Two pieces for you guys today. We have a lower body workout and then a core post-workout piece at the end. Let's get to them and then I will take you outside, demonstrate, and walk you through the movements. So, on the workout, for time, your goal is to complete 400 lunge steps. I'll demonstrate the different ways you can do that in a minute. You then have to do 8 Russian kettlebell swings each minute on the minute. If you guys are limited on your kettlebell weight, use whatever you have. I'm not looking for you to increase the reps here because that's just going to take more time. This is more based off of time than it is off of weight. The type of lunges I'll demonstrate in a second. We'll also demonstrate what a Russian kettlebell swing means versus a American kettlebell swing if you don't know what that is. The goal is 400 total. Core piece is going to be 6-minute AMRAP. We're going to do Russian twist and a side plank crunch, right, left each side. All right, demonstrate those if you have not done those before. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, we're talking workout first. 400 total lunge steps. Ideally, we're looking at 200 each side with an EMOM force of 8 Russian kettlebell swings. So let's go through piece by piece. 400 lunge steps is the goal. The workout is completed when we accomplish that. Each minute on the minute, you have to stop the lunges, get 8 Russian kettlebell swings before you go back to the lunge steps. So, real quick, every lunge counts as 1 rep. Every time I finish 1 and then 2, okay, I can walk forward and push back. I can walk with my lunges. Just make sure your kettlebell is close so that you don't have to walk back and waste time. Or I can step back into it. If you guys want to mix it up, you can angle your lunges. You can even call a Cossack squat a lunge for this scenario, okay? Doesn't matter to me as long as we're getting 400 total reps. For the Russian swings, keep in mind Russian means straight up out in front of the chest, not an American overhead swing. Remember from the first video, don't care what the weight is. If you guys are limited on your weight for the kettlebell swings, it's more about time. So normally I would program this for 53 guys, 35 girls on the weight. If you have a lighter kettlebell, don't add reps. That's just going to take too much time away, and that's probably going to get you in a bad position to finish this workout. All right, so 400 total steps at minute 1, at minute 2, at minute 3, etc., etc. 8 required Russian kettlebell swings, continuing for time until you finish every lunge. If you want to take a minute off of the lunges, that's fine, but you can't take a minute off of the Russian swings. Let's go over the core work for today. 6-minute AMRAP, 30 Russian twist, 10 side plank crunches right, and 10 side plank crunches left. Now, let's try and keep this as much quality as we can. If these movements get sloppy, one, we could probably tweak something in our midsection, lower back, anywhere in the torso, so to speak, and they're not going to be as effective. So maintain quality, maintain control. On the Russian twist, ideally I would like to see you guys have the feet up off the ground. Remember, when we are twisting, we're not necessarily trying to go all the way to the floor, all right? Especially if that much of a turn causes me to get a bad position on the lower back, causes me to pull some tension off to the side, get like that stiff lower back, right side or left side feeling from it. I want you guys to make sure though that you are crossing your hip bones. Okay, that's going to force the rotation. That's going to make sure we're getting the core work that we want to receive from this. 30 reps means 30 rotations, okay? So 1 rotation, 2 rotation, 3 rotation, 15 each side if you will. All right, on the side plank crunch, this is gonna be very similar to a side bend with weight in your hand. There's a couple different ways that I've seen people do this. One, I would suggest being on your forearm for the side plank. It makes it a little easier to control and target the work we're trying to do. A lot of times if we're on the hands, we tend to rock around, fall over the place. That makes it more challenging. Remember, we're trying to be effective and efficient. We're not necessarily trying to be as aggressive and challenging on the entire movement as possible. So, forearm down, shoulder blades engaged to create some stability. From there, I prefer to find a straight line, let my hips drop below that straight line, and then engage just above the straight line. I've seen people touch the ground and flex all the way up. If that works for you, it's fine. I have some lower back issues from sports when I was younger, so that tends to cause me pain, similar to the Russian twist if I go too far on the rotations. All right, it's up to you guys what you want to do there. If it's causing you pain, it's not worth it. Shorten the range of motion, maybe flex a little bit more at the squeeze at the top, and that'll get you the work you're trying to get. So 6 minutes, 30, counting every rotation, 10 crunches right, 10 crunches left.
Stay tuned for movement modifications.
All right, it's time to talk movement modifications for the workouts. If you guys have issues with the lunges, if depth causes us pain, meaning that back knee getting down to the ground, one thing you can do is elevate that front foot, probably no more than about 2-3 inches at the most on something, and then lunge into that front leg from there. For example, if you have a 45-pound plate, you can put that on the ground in front of you, step on the plate, and go into the lunge. In which case, you're trying to line your knee up more with that front plate than you are the ground that it would normally hit. Okay. If you have an issue touching your knee on the ground, maybe you're super sensitive, you don't have knee pads, something along those lines, elevate the back foot and go down from there, trying to line the back knee, the knee that's going to touch the ground or would touch the ground, up with the elevation of the toe on that same leg, meaning it's actually going to be floating, not touching the ground where the front foot is. Okay. If you guys don't have a kettlebell swing, let's say we only have dumbbells, well, kettlebell, we only have dumbbells, there's a couple things we can do. We can hold the kettlebell on end, if you're okay with that. We can also take 2 lighter dumbbells and we can allow them to swing back and snap through. A lot of control required in that, so make sure you guys can practice it. Don't do it with weight that's too heavy, and focus on being very accurate. If we only have a barbell, which I'm going to use to simulate with a pipe, I would probably suggest an RDL with a little bit of an aggressive hip extension, similar to a clean pull. Okay. Keep in mind with the RDL, we're pushing back into the hamstrings, looking for that tension, and then utilizing it on the extension. If we have none of those things, but we have a band, we're going to anchor it behind us. Make sure you guys get the right elevation for hips. We're going to step out to that band as intention, allow it to pull the hips back, similar to how a kettlebell would rock us back, and create extension coming through. Obviously, slightly different function because it's a band instead of a kettlebell. It's not as much of a swing, it's an anchored position, but the hip extension is very similar.